one that's quickest to get in there.
Okay.
I would say personally, because it's such a simplistic map and it's so solved strategically. There's I mean, we'll see how it plays out. We're off already. Mad Lions on the T side, CPH Flames on the CT side, and we'll see already Shush getting a little bit of damage down towards the double doors. It's going to be a B rush for Mad Lions. There's a couple of defenders here already. Tessus is there. He just can't find any kills though. It's getting a little bit hairy, but there you go. They are correcting things.
Mad Lions with the FaZe Clan pistol rounds. Moving into the D-bomb site now. 2 players remain. Asilian has a smoke grenade. One's been deployed to the door. So you can redeploy later. But look at the push as the bomb gets planted. They know only one person's got a gun in his hand. They're flying all over the place now, making it as awkward as possible for Asilian. And CPH will take the pistol. So there was a pistol run from FaZe Clan a long time ago where Olofmeister was bunny hopping backwards into the site to try and draw the fire of the CTs while hiding his head. Because obviously, especially if you have Kevlar, it can take like 6 bullets to kill someone if you can't find the headshot. So that was a FaZe Clan pistol round there, which is pretty cool to see. Didn't quite work out for them, but it wasn't too. I like the attempt there.
Yeah, and I mean they get the bomb down, so they get the option to get a Krieg, they get the option to pick up some scouts and really cause some economic pressure and damage and potentially win a round. It's a really dangerous round to play on the CT side because it's like, where do you put your players? You're afraid of maybe fast B plays, you're afraid of like fast mid splits, you're afraid of the long takes. So typically you would see teams play this like quite passively, just like 2 to the B bomb site, cover that B rush timing, 3 to long, make sure the T's don't steal long straight away. And even if they get good long spawns, the T side, it's still very difficult to hold that. You got to have all the perfect timings to your nades. So this is dangerous territory for CPH Flames. But if they can win this round, they can definitely get off to a good start. But it is going to be tough, I think.
In case you guys can see this massive bruise on my arm, and you're wondering what it was, I was carrying 5 tables on a trolley in the rain, and I slipped, but held onto the trolley, so all the tables smashed me on the arm. But the bruise looks a lot worse than it actually was. It just like I bruised like a peach, I suppose. Taking a long time to go away.
So you weren't in a fight?
But there we are. Wasn't in a fight, no.
Okay.
Just the tabletops as well. Not the
when was the last time
tables.
you were in a fight, James?
I don't know actually. I have no idea. But there's fights and skirmishes. Might be a bit grim to get into that right now. Anyway. We're back into the game. CPH Flames successful on the pistol round. We've got the triple FAMAS for CPH, prioritizing the rifles. This is a map full of range, so that will definitely be a good idea. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the burst fire in the FAMAS has the fastest fire rate of any rifle at about 800 RPM. Not that anybody uses it, but if you did, there's some information for you.
You can see in Mad Lions, they actually got a bad spawn for a long timing, and they wanted to. It seems like they wanted to entertain the idea of going there. And CPH Flames did the classic thing: you flash for the first guy who throws the incendiary into the double doors, and they smoke behind it. They've actually re-smoked it as well. So interesting because it's Mad Lions just going for a delayed long take. And again, they want to get the Krieg and the AK, the Galil, into position here. Nodius is in a very important position. Got to be so careful there with the scout. He spotted a foot too, so he has no help here though, James. He's in so much trouble if he doesn't take a more defensive position. Trying to play that off angle, but will it work out for him?
Yeah, Farlig has made his way over with a flashbang. Oh, he gets 2 out of it, and it's a scout to try and trade. That's super awkward. Is that a scout? No, it's a Krieg. What am I talking about? Either way, he's done a good job so far. Now, they might think that's the same person. Well, we've got Nodius. Yeah, he's baiting now. So it's the same gun, it's the FAMAS. And his teammate can try and pick some more plays off. Indeed, Roger is taken out now by Farlig. So everything's collapsing, but Asilian's on a huge flank on the A-bomb site. But how many can he really expect to get? Faced by Tessus. 2 more now. This is super awkward. The bomb is still... Acor still has the bomb in long doors, and he's going to push... 25 seconds. He's got to try and race up short. He can't really make that long play. That would be suicidal. However, look at the CTs now coming in. Oh, they were, but they're falling back. This is getting super weird. Asilian trying to run distraction. Maybe Acor can run to the side, but Farlig's on the way. This is a very unusual game around on Dust 2. That's a big frag for him, but can he make it to the bomb? Yes, just about. He could actually win this one somehow. 8 HP. He will be denied, though.
The bomb plant's pretty huge. But I think they'll probably just half buy this next round so that they can get that big buy in the following on. But the setup on long there was pretty pretty precarious for Nodius. He was taking that committed off angle, and it did work out because he had a teammate able to swing through. Farlig was able to post up in that really advantageous position, and they had no idea that he was there. It's a super strong right eye spot against the left eye peek. You have so much advantage. It's just absolutely perfect. And they seem to read, James, as well, that Mad Lions were likely to play for a delayed long push. They were, as CPH Flames were playing pretty standard, and Nodius read the situation pretty well. And indeed, it's just a sort of half buy here. Just get some deagles in there, keep the damage going.
That's painful. Nothing worse than running down to suicide, getting spotted by CT, like, oh, I'm not going to make it. He does on this occasion, however. Well, this will be the round of dry peaks. That said, there's a pop flash play, but that's the only flash they have, so now it's just a dry peaks now with these deagles. Our friend starts off well. Numbers game being abused by the T side. They've got an opening kill. Making their way towards B. Can they go through the door and the window at the same time? They'll be covered around the door. And it looks like this will get cleaned up for the most part by CPH Flames. Just one knock will be fantastic, and indeed it is. So, not too much damage done. They'll be happy with that. 3-0 for the Flames.
Yeah, this is a really good spot to be in. I think they really need this. Again, they are the underdog. I chose them because I feel like there's enough sort of mitigating factors to the greater experience and greater individual skill of Mad Lions to, I think, allow CPH Flames to have a look in on this series. And Farlig's going to pick up the AWP. He is a dedicated AWP for this team. Now, we're going to have 4 players starting long here, so CPH Flames worried about that fast long play. Giving up B at the beginning of the round. They got the smoke on the upper tons. And now they need to go back into more default positions, as we'll see HooXi making his way towards CT with the Krieg, so he's got mid under control, and now Farlig is the B anchor with the AWP. So a pretty robust setup to begin with. And Mad Lions will take that cap control around 1:15, so pretty decent timing, pacing on this. And now they're just set up on Cat. They can do all kinds of things. They can pressure Cat, throw some smokes, bait out some utility, and start to work out which bomb site they want to attack. Pretty standard default setup here for them. Farlig's going aggressive in upper tons, it looks like.
Yeah, the chat makes me think that there might be an issue here.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, there's going to be a reset of the round. There was no damage done in the round, so whatever it was, there'll be a reset, so no harm done there. I was curious as to how far the AWP would go, but we'll have to find out on another day. Well, 3-0 for CPH Flames. There's a reset for whatever reason. I'm sure there's some kind of technical issue that was that called for the reset. Hopefully we'll be back into the game soon. Just internet things.
One thing that was interesting there about that push is that
which push?
If you're Farlig with the AWP and you're
right.
pushing the extremity and the other team's defaulting, if it's a heavy default team, you're fairly reliably probably getting kills. But in the Krieg meta, where you have the Kriegs able to hold those pushes, it's actually really dangerous because the Krieg with the scope actually makes a lot of difference in terms of holding these kind of walk peaks with the AWP. If you have an AK that's not, a gun that's not scoped in, it's a lot harder, I think, to actually see those pixels as they start, slowly, swing. So I was a little bit worried by that because if Farlig dies there with the AWP, I think they, that position of the B bomb site can just be taken. So it's like almost a save situation. So we'll see if Mad Lions are going to play another default or if they'll try to get into the head of their opponents. That's the only damage you're saying about damage done in having resets. Sometimes it's really problematic when if you've run a play, even if no one died, you did still show an opening, which was just a default in this case. Now you're going to do it again, or you're going to do a rush. Maybe you have different spawns, So who knows? Yeah,
we're going to have a quick look at some highlights from the first 3 rounds while we wait for this issue to be resolved. I think it's a ping issue with one of these players. But again, this was, I forget what match it was where FaZe did that play. Maybe they didn't originate it, but that was the first place I saw it, where the front man is bunny hopping backwards into the bomb site to absorb all the bullets essentially and allow his teammates to swarm. So it's pretty fun. Olaf did a good job of bunny hopping backwards. That's not an easy task, but he did a pretty good job there. a while ago. I made a video of it because it was the first time I saw it, but it wasn't so successful for Mad Lions. I like their logo though. Mad Lions logo is pretty good.
It's pretty cool. It reminds me of sort of when you're walking around London, you have like these like big kind of lion statues and kind of the regal kind of theme around it. It reminds me of that. So it's quite cool. Definitely a good logo. There's quite a few decent logos here. I do like the. I think that might be my favorite logo actually. Thinking about it because I was looking around the studio.
The Chaos one's cool.
Yeah.
I like the Fun Plus Phoenix one as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see whether or not they'll be able to actually recover and bounce back in this game. Obviously, got a lot of mic checks in my ear right now.
Yeah. Please stop doing that. Thank you. Sorry, we've got sound in our ear that we don't need.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at this. I was flying around here yesterday with my little drone. I flew into one of the cameras, Dan. Don't tell anyone though.
Well, bounce right off is fine. Camera was unharmed.
It's a great studio. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is nice.
If you're the OCD type, I think the mirroring is very nice.
Symmetry.
This place, when we went live on the first day, like I came in here a week before, and it was literally concrete and nothing apart from toilets. It was concrete and there was nothing else. And they made this in 1 week, which was unreal. To be honest with you, absolutely unreal that they turned that around in 7 days. It's bonkers. They did a fantastic job.
Apparently they filmed the first season of The Office here.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic. If you're a fan of The Office, I watched all of it recently. It's amazing.
The US one? I haven't watched the US one.
It's better.
You think it's better?
I think it's a lot better.
Damn, that's high praise.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is actually amazing.
Yeah. The color scheme is awesome. Of the studio, the general color scheme of Flashpoint, obviously. I want to walk through the tunnel, Dan. I want to walk through it. I want to feel special. I want the lights moving around and the music. You know. I want to feel that. I want to have that emotion. It's like Oh,
there you go. There's your music. Get out there, James.
No, I'm not going to do it now. No, I'm shy. Leave me alone. Production making me go do it.
The production are calling him out.
You should do it, Dan.
They called you bluff, James, and you've been found to be a coward. So.
Can't put me on the spot like that, man. You're making me uncomfortable.
So now people just know they can't trust what you're saying. They can't trust what you tell them anymore.
So why are Copenhagen Flames going to win, Dan?
Well, as I said previously, I think it's not necessarily that I think they're definitely going to win. I think it's a good bet for an upset. I believe in this team having good potential going into the following months. I think they got a lot of development to do, of course, to kind of tidy up mistakes. But some of the things I have seen, the way that they have approached, I think there's in particular their Nuke T side in the qualifier because I hadn't really seen the team playing before this iteration this year. And I saw that and I was like, they're actually doing some stuff that's actually quite complex. It's has very good theory behind it, and it's very well coordinated. So they're obviously putting the time in. They've got, there is a good head on the shoulders of their in-game leader in terms of the calling and the mid-rounding, and their preparation is obviously there as well. So they're definitely working hard, and they're a bunch of Danes, so we know they come from a great Counter-Strike culture in terms of how they view those things. And on top of that, I've seen like flashes of brilliance in terms of the individual play. Now I'm just kind of, again, like for me, it's a team where I'm thinking they could be great. They could grow a lot, I think, and I think that's what I see with this team, and so that's why I'm putting faith in them. And in this series, as you said, James, Dust 2 is kind of like is kind of an interesting one. They don't have any stats on it, and Mad Lions statistically aren't great on this map either. But it's a really easy map to do the fundamentals on. So I think this is a 50-50 for me.
I think Copenhagen Flames are the kind of team that you and I enjoy, like an up-and-coming team of young, hungry people, like an ATK or like plenty of other teams we've seen. But we'll talk about it more when we come back. We're going to head to a break while they wait for this ping issue to be resolved. When we're back, we're going to have more action for you here on Dust 2. We'll see you soon. are waiting for Mad Lions to reconnect to the server. I think they've reset their intertubes, their internet service providing, so we may be a minute or two away from resuming this game. I love these mixes, man. I don't know how many of you are familiar with like UK garage music. I used to DJ, not like in clubs and stuff. I was a bedroom DJ, but I was a good DJ.
Who did you DJ to?
Just to the mandem. To the mandem.
I mean, it's really therapeutic, actually, and it's like quite easy to get the basics down. You can obviously be really advanced with it, but just like beat matching and just like making your own mixes and stuff. Really, I think it's like therapeutic. I want to get some decks to do that. Just as like a personal therapy time.
Yeah, I missed the vinyl because it's, you know, with the Pioneer decks, it's like pretty straightforward, but it's not really, you know, in these times of limited space, especially in London, it's not really realistic to. I have enough hobbies. If I did like vinyl garage to that, I'd literally need to do it in a garage.
I could never get into the idea of vinyls. It's like there's just so. I mean, you have to be
awesome, man.
You have to be really serious. You have to be a collector type as well.
Yeah, it depends. But there's like playing a vinyl. But if you're just mixing vinyls, it's like it's a lot more. There's a lot more feel to it than just like beat matching on Pioneer decks, where you don't really necessarily need to do anything. You know, you just like slow things down. I don't know, man. Technics 1210s were the ones. Anyway, it is 3-0 to Copenhagen Flames, and Mad Lions are connecting back to the server as we speak. So fingers crossed, we should all be good to go. I think Mad Lions, again, on paper, they're a favourite. Dan was saying, talking about the why he picked Copenhagen Flames to get to this point. The veto is very interesting. We see that they're both on the ropes at the moment. Mad Lions and Copenhagen Flames, they're in a loser's bracket trying to fight their way forward. Not even sure who they're going to be playing just yet, but it is last chance saloon for these chaps in this bracket. If they want to get deep and make that money, they better perform now. The in-game feeders bracket. I love that.
Yeah.
I think we under pressure, you know, we had like 15 minutes to create these names. I think we did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely an interesting bracket. I think they're all very interesting, just because, as mentioned, because there's so many so many different factors. We don't really have a clear expectation behind what the results should be in a lot of games, and all of these teams are also building as well. And a lot of them are making mistakes. Some of the favorite ones, you know, I think it's been pretty clear that there's not a single team in this entire bracket that's not making mistakes that are glaring in some cases on a lot of maybe their entire map pool. So that does create opportunity for any team that they're playing against. So situations like this, Mad Lions and CPH Flames, it's another one of those kinds of dynamics. You've got the young team who is working really hard, who needs to get that experience and show their growth and potential, versus a more tenured team but they just made a huge lineup change. Like it's not just we swapped our AWPer or something, and it's like a style difference between the AWPers of old and the new one. No, it's like we swapped out the in-game leader who built this system and built everything basically, and now we're replacing him with somebody else who doesn't have the same kind of like expertise or even close to that. So it's a huge change. So I fear for Mad Lions and their trajectory with this change.
In terms of form, I mean, the form's not spectacular for either team. But I think it's worse recently, slightly worse for Mad Lions. They lost, although I think their level of competition might be a little better. They lost 2-1 to Havu, they lost to Mouse Sports 2-0, they beat Virtus Pro 2-1, lost to EG 2-1, and I think they may have lost a second time to Mouse Sports.
So they beat VP.
Yeah.
And that's a VP that's like obviously really weak right now.
They've just gone straight into the bin as well.
Yeah, they've done the Furia.
Yeah. So we're back into the game. We're going to resume, but quick notes. Copenhagen Flames recently lost to Contact 0-2. They beat Heroic, and Sprout lost to Godsent and Chaos. So it's up and down for both these squads.
There's definitely I think people are making this out to be a little bit too Mad Lions favored, but we'll see. That's why I picked CPH Flames. I feel like they're a good bet. Underdog bet here. Either way, we resume things, and it's a quick long take coming through from Mad Lions as Refresh holds this angle I was talking about extremely strong as they swing, but the smokes are there to cover as they make their way across. Refresh can't get the transfer, and it's a 3v3 now as Mad Lions have gained control of long. And of course, that's going to initiate this flank we're seeing out of Tessus. And if Mad Lions slow things down dramatically and Tessus plays his cards right, there's a huge opportunity here for CPH Flames to really do some serious damage, as Mad Lions are going to be forced to make a decision here. And their decision is to actually back away out of the long, and there might be a timing here for Tessus. Absolutely, the lineup's there for him, and that's going to be a terrible situation now for Mad Lions to play out of. They've just got A-Core left.
1 versus 2 with 1 minute on the clock. If he slows things down, he might get a 1v1. Now, both players on Copenhagen Flames have 2 different directions to worry about, long and short for the A player Farlig, and for B, well, as you can see, Copenhagen Flames, aware of these issues, have taken forward positions to try and limit their variant. So if there is a play up long, then it is a 2-man retake for Copenhagen Flames. And through mid, A-Core goes. 28 seconds now. He has to walk to B, really, otherwise he's got to run somewhere. Hooksy staying in a tunnel for the time being. Ooh, he's missed a shot. Now he's got 16 HP.
Ooh.
Second attempt won't hit the mark there, and it's 4-0 for Copenhagen Flames. There's no answer from Mad Lions just yet.
So that's interesting. You know, A-Core, who's one, we look to him to be the absolute beast, you know, star type player for Mad Lions, with the AWP especially as well. And that's the first whiff okay, but the second one, I would have expected him to miss that second shot there. And I think, you know, credit to Hooksy. I think pushing the upper tunnels actually was a really smart, it's a risky play, but I think it's a smart choice. And it did pay off for him. So it's 4-0, CPH Flames, you know, bust the first big buy of Mad Lions. And look at the setup here for CPH Flames. They go super standard, which playing it safe. 2B at the start for the rush timing for B. 3 towards long for the rush timing of A. Really standard. Hooksy spots a couple over towards Cat and so on. You don't need to try to really take fights here and risk getting picked. You just want the info.
So much utility on the Mad Lions squad. I think A-Core could have afforded a P250 here, considering its maximum loss bonus. If he ends up in a situation with the Glock. Sometimes you've got to headshot a player 3 times with the Glock to kill him. It's that bad versus armor, full armor. So I think a P250 would have been worthwhile. Maybe trying to avoid some grenades from CPH Flames. HEs or mollies. The jiggle, the crouch peek. The Virtus Pro grenades look to be lined up, it seems. There we go. Incendiary from the CTs. Nothing too aggressive from the CTs. Shush has managed to get a frag between these smokes, almost getting a second one on Hooksy. Things get a little awkward here for CPH. Farlig now, he must deliver. Doesn't have much in the name of help. Notice has got 1 flash for him, that go above his head. And there we go, that's just in time. Alex gets the USP kills. Kept it mostly in CPH Flames' favor, but maybe there's a weapon to be collected here. Maybe not actually, I can see it on the ramp.
There we go. They'll finish things off. CPH Flames quite nicely. Not really anywhere for Mad Lions to go, but they do get 2 kills and a bomb plant. As you mentioned, James, they got that max loss bonus now coming through, and they spent just enough in this round. And you know, you can see that CPH Flames, they pretty much knew what Mad Lions were doing. It's the most common answer. It's like one of the best plays you can make is this, the T side, to go for a short plant typically and just use some utility to get yourself across to that short plant, guarantee the money, maybe get some damage across in the way, and that's pretty much what happened. So the big buy comes in again, double ops now for CPH Flames. We'll see Hooksy also picking one up, and the Krieg kept by Nodius. And here is a fast timing down suicide for 2 players. Will they go through double doors or up to Catwalk? Looks like as we up to Cats, and that's a good pick onto Tessus. Refresh has to be careful.
Oh, ooh.
Shush will survive, yeah.
Oh. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just not far enough. That would have been spectacular damage if it just went a few inches further, but such is life. Hooksy waiting. Mad Lions have been really good with the flashbangs as part of their default. They've left no stone unturned in that respect. There's Farlig with the push that we saw earlier before that round reset came in. And it was Roger, he was waiting for him, and Farlig's got the better of him on this occasion. So now there's no lurker towards B, there's no information towards B, which will be worrisome for Mad Lions. Yeah,
there's some points to be made about that before, and I was talking about Farlig's pushes and why it's strong to do it in the way that he was doing it before, but there can also be exploited by Mad Lions in the future, and we'll go into that point in a moment. As CPH Flames are readying themselves here for everything. It's a 4v4, not really ideal. You can see that they are going to give up the A bomb site mostly. They'll have some defense from Car. That's Hooksy. He's got one of the two AWPs, of course. He is the A orb defender. And he's really relying on Refresh to keep him safe from long as the push comes through. Nice first connection. That's the bomb down for just a moment. As Hooksy tries to hold on to things, buying himself some time. Refresh. Ooh, that's a prolonged spray through the door there. That's definitely a risky one. But there's still 3v2, and the time is indeed against Mad Lions here. He called takedown Farlig, but again, it's about the time here. He's got to get the bomb planted. He's going to have to just go for it at this point, and the CTs know it. There is the cover, though, from Bubsky, and the bomb's going down. Hooksy in a 1v2.
Knows where both players are now. Switching out to the Deagle. Looking for that one headshot onto Acor, who's creeping back. You spot him jumping up. Here comes a trade fragger as well. They're lining up for him, and one Deag is hit. Oh my god! He's shut it down, and there's still no round for Mad Lions. Denial by Hooksy, the 1 versus 2. They lined up for him perfectly. The 1 Deags were there, and it's a solid 6-0 for Copenhagen Flames.
That was sick. Oh man, he knew that he'd have to, that played through his mind. Like, he knew exactly what he had to do before it happens, and just so calm. So damn calm. Oh man, Hooksy coming out huge there. What a round to win. That's so huge, James. I mean,
that's a massive clutch.
Mad Lions got the 5v4 to begin with. They know how to play the 4-man situation. Well, rather the 4v4, I think, at that point, when they actually attack the site. It's usually the fact that the CTs will have to either give up the site, or they're going to be isolating one on the site, and one's going to be isolated on long. So they had a really strong attack. CPH Flames clutched it, though, and that's it's a big moment. This could really get out of hand for Mad Lions. They're on 5 AKs now, so life is not good for them.
Yeah, still looking for their first round. It has been brutal. They've planted the bomb 4 times, but they just can't convert the round. That was really unlucky for Mad Lions, but I mean, it wasn't really a case of luck. It's just a great clutch, really. Things lined up quite literally for CPH Flames, and they are still 6-0 again. No data on this team, as they haven't played this in the last 3 months. So Mad Lions are in the dark. Making their way into the B bomb site now. We've got some counter grenades, and I'm sure there'll be some flashbangs over the wall as well to help TeSeS out. So far, so good. The spot plays to his right, wiping them all out almost. Great hold so far from TeSeS. Falls to the Flames. Now there's a 3 versus 2 for CPH. Roger trying to create some space to maybe plant the bomb here.
So much utility for the CTs for this retake. This is going to be very hard for Mad Lions to hold this. A safe plant to get that bomb down. They had to smoke the window as well, which is never particularly ideal, but it is a fairly deep smoke at least, so that's actually a good one. And Bubsky's there. They're going to have to make an aggressive play. Bubsky. Now his position's known. That's a problem. Let's see what CPH Flames can do here. Quick jump molly to flush Bubsky out of position. Now it's just one to deal with by Car. Oh, Farlig is going to connect that one, and this is looking pretty crazy right now, James, because that's a great defense there. That looks so confident from TeSeS. The guy's been on deathmatch, that's for sure. Doing his best Magisk impression on this B bomb side, anchoring it beautifully. I didn't expect Hooksy to be just owning everyone either. Mad Lions are getting bombs planted, but we can see that the bombs going down pretty much every round. The CPH Flames are just confidently retaking.
Yeah, where's that first round, Mad Lions? It's all good planting the bomb, but you've got to convert that round. 7 rounds from 7 on the CT side of Dust 2. It's pretty good going for CPH Flames. Not a good look so far. Refresh now, holding on to the long position. There's no help because of the Molotov. What do they do now? An exchange of grenades, but Mad Lions are forced to back away. Stunted at the beginning of round number 8. Hooksy spotting the cross, sees the bomb as well. A lot of utility being thrown out now. No more flashes for Mad Lions. We saw their default in previous rounds where they used all their flashes to get up cat. They've got no flashes left.
Yeah, I think the general lack of utility was a problem towards long as well. They didn't want to smoke that Molotov on the doors and just burst through. We can go more into that point in a later situation, where, you know, where we don't have quite as much action brewing, because Mad Lions are trying to set themselves up here for attack onto the A bomb site. It's a really big issue though, because CPH Flames have such a strong defense towards long as well. That's going to allow for a really solid retake. Oh, they're actually going to try to fake the push towards the A site, throw some nades in, push a player there, and actually go for the B play through tons. Lots of time here. Bubsy's got a lot to do. He does get that kill, and that's going to create some issues. Testis is looking towards mid. He's expecting players to come out the double doors, but most are coming through tons. But there is a smoke down, and they're not pushing it just yet. They're going to have to go through that smoke, and the timing actually works out. Testis missed pretty much all of his bullets through the smoke, and will get punished for it. So, wow. Mad Lions really doing a great job. They were in a terrible situation, and they've converted things nicely.
Yeah, it's about damn time as well. Not too late to get some momentum going for sure. Plenty of rounds to be won in this first half. And even though this is the first round they've won, look at the money for CPH Flames. They don't have a lot going on. Their loss bonus is going to be in the bin. So they're going to have this AWP, and then maybe they can muster the odd thing here or there, but it should be pretty rough for them going forward. So
yeah,
Mad Lions should should have a run here.
This is a really interesting spot, because on a lot of maps, like an Inferno or something, you could just force buy in this situation. But on Dust 2, I actually think that CPH Flames might just want to full save, so they can actually have a proper buy round in the following rounds, and just play this off. Just find a good spot for it, maybe recycle it a little bit.
Nope.
They're gonna force it up, but I think the fact that
it's a pretty good buy.
It's decent, but it's Dust 2, James. You know, I feel like you really want that AWP in play, like the second AWP in play. You're gonna want a maximum buy. But
yeah,
you know,
but if
they'll go for it.
I know, but if you're crushing your opponent and you've won almost every round, I think there's an argument to be made for playing the confidence game as well. Yeah. Psychological warfare, Dan.
I definitely don't think that it's a bad choice. I think, you know, you can definitely make this work as long as they have the plays for this, because you have to know how to get aggressive with it, and that's one of the reasons why it's a more difficult map. On most other maps in the pool, you know, you have a lot of good options as a CTs aggressively that you can make. You know, you can make those aggressive pushes safe. You can convert them well. You can find those close and medium ranges. But on this map, you know, if your initial aggressions don't go too well, suddenly like the T's can really control the pace of the round. They can get lots of long ranges. They can really outgun you pretty heavily. So a little bit worried for CPH Flames here. We'll see if this buy works. They'll go for the cap boost. What is that?
There it is. we saw one of the Brazilian teams trying that, but they were getting caught from their demos. Maybe they were inspired by watching that game, CPH Flames. Nice opening frag from them, and they have a man advantage in this 4 versus 3. So far, so good with this force buy. Cillian going to take some damage, not too much though. He's all right.
Oh, stand corrected. They had the gimmicks, James, and it works.
Gimmicks. Detona. Was it Detona?
I think so. That? Yeah, it's definitely. You're right. It was definitely one of the 2 Brazilian teams. Yeah. Oh, the legs was just spotted there for sure.
Show me the legs. Well, again, Mad Lions have got one flashbang on a Cillian who's got the bomb. He's trying to creep up towards long. He's going to get away with it as well. Manages to creep around the corner just before Farlick starts peeking. And where is he headed? They don't know the status of long. I mean, do they use this flash to take long? It's their only flash. It will telegraph their intentions. They may have to gamble so as not to give their full intentions away, but Hooksy's just creeping up short. Does this make them think it's B, though? No, because Roger is here. He wins the duel. I don't see the bomb, however, so it's still not clear as to what's going on. He might be offering a fake. Again, they haven't used that flash towards long. They've gone in silently, and that could really, really help them. Testis is by the car in B, so he doesn't have information. You can see Farlick heading towards the B bomb site, but he's watching the cross as well with the AWP. 17 seconds on the clock. Roger moving up that short position. Farlick now is going to be really important. There's no smoke. Down goes the bomb. It will be collected, though. They just about make it. The HE, though, will do minimum damage.
Oh, tonight. That was so close to being maybe a double kill. And here they go up catwalks. The bomb goes down. Nice pick off from Farlig, looking for the next one. Shush is playing the goose position, goes for the swing, and that lack of utility, James, really hurt Mad Lions. No smokes for the cross or anything like that, and the defuse will come through. And another defuse, another bomb plant, another retake. But that force buy, it works out, as you say. You know, that the gimmick to open the round up, to get the initial pick, get the initial trades, seemed to catch Mad Lions off guard at the worst timing, because that could have been the start of Mad Lions really building momentum. But
4K from Farlig, 10 for 3 now.
Damn.
That was devastating from Copenhagen Flames. Again, just playing the confidence game. They are very much in control of Dust 2. So why the hell not force buy? Great gimmick over the smoke. Nothing going the way of Mad Lions at the moment. So many bomb plants, but only one round. Off they go again. It'll be a late attempt towards long, it seems, but they'll have to be somewhat delayed. There's a lot of junk being thrown by Copenhagen Flames. Should seem like he's going to make his way in alone. He's alive for now, but there are flames beyond those smokes, so he can't really go anywhere. He's being tagged out, being hurt by Nodius. He gets a kill onto Farlig though, and he's able to fall back. I don't know how he's achieved that, but that's quite something. He's running distraction actually. He was a sacrificial lamb. Meanwhile, Mad Lions take the A bomb site, but Refresh has an AWP as well.
Yeah, it's a tough decision to try to make that peak or not, and with that kill it does give a lot of options here, but there is an off angle I think that's being held by Shush. He's trying to look for any other players to go towards the longhouse, but Hooksy's got a lot of work here. If he gets a kill here, that'd be huge. He gets one on the catwalk, another 1v1. It doesn't go his way, but he's lightened the load here for CPH Flames as they move forward. Got some extra information. They know another player is catwalk as well, but there's one that's unaccounted for. Here he comes in the flank. Shush with one, and there's no trade just yet. No trade at all. Shush is doing it all, and there's no kit. Tessis is going to get a kill, but there's nothing left to do here. It's going to be a round for Mad Lions as he tries to get out and save this AK, which he'll do. And Mad Lions they'll pick up the round, but they'll go down to their last player. But look at the money for CPH Flames. It's not good at all.
Yeah, they've been broken, properly broken this time. The AK is in the hands of Tesses, but it's not an AWP. And again, let's not forget Farlig's 4K in that previous round. I don't think that's going to happen this time. He's got a scout. They are buying up once again, CPH, but it's going to be a much harder task on this occasion. Making a play towards long. They've got the molly out. Very, very nice. So they've taken their initial map control, even with the limitations they have. That's pretty important. Very deep grenades, but Bubsky's ahead of it. Looking for a kill. You can see Nodius creeping. If he goes down, that's a big kill because he's only got one of the very few rifles, but he's ready for it. He's not even touched.
Yeah, that's a good start. I mean, they will see that it's going to be a B split, and they can't do much about it. They've only got one player on the site. Testis, he gets one with the AK. Needed more, I think, though. Oh, actually, that said, that's the bomb down. Just for a moment, it's going to slow things down. They'll go straight through the smoke here. Akor's on the other end of it. They can trade him maybe with the AWP, but they can't punish him on the reload. A flashbang through again to try to find a way to get him dead, but this is awkward. Both stuck by scaffolding. What a strange situation, but Akor, more damage from him with that AWP. Looking for another kill. Maybe he's going to get it. Farlig, he's going to find one with the scout, but there's the trade. Roje through the smoke. That is just absolute chaos.
Look
down to the last man again.
These rounds are for Mad Lions to win.
Yeah, that's some serious damage.
It's really wild. But again, they could still get 7 rounds out of this. At some point, Copenhagen Flames are going to have to eco, and I think that point is now.
Yeah.
So everything will start to calm down. You can see, I get the impression Mad Lions are aware of this. They've got Shush on the Mac 10 now. There's the fastest way to deploy a smoke towards Cat for Xbox.
I'm glad we saw that. I forgot that yesterday, and now I've relearned it.
Yeah, it's an easy one to pick up. Here we go. A charge up Cat from Copenhagen Flames will not work out for them. This will be a comfortable round, the first comfortable round for Mad Lions. But again, it's never too late. Fresh air with the USP will get taken up by Shush, gets the bonus money with the SMG frag, and off they go to the next one. Mad Lions now with 3 rounds in a row.
Okay, so this is it. This could change. I mean, the narrative so far has been that they've been just getting dominated. But a 7-8, that's not something that's crazy to think that Mad Lions could achieve. So we'll see if they can get there. Akor's on the AWP, that's always a dangerous prospect. Throwing the smoke through, denying Molotovs, getting position. Long's been given up, which means that they know there's a setup here on Catwalk. There has to be. There's nobody on Long. Where else would the CTs be on A? And here's the setup. Oh man, walking straight into it, but there's no punish. Farley tries to get that punish. He goes into the flames, takes significant damage.
Mad Lions now. They've got eyes on the A-bomb side. There's a gap for Nodius. Misses the first one. Spots 2 crossing there, maybe even 3. So that's a lot of information for the CTs to play off of. But Bubsky creeping in the smoke. Who's going to get the opening frag in this game? Starts to fall back. Nodius still by that smoke. This is going to explode quickly. Refresh knows that somebody was on Cat. They're backing up all the way towards Long, it seems. And now the CTs are completely exposed. Nodius taken out. Hooksy in no man's land. And Acor has the angle. Mad Lions have been patient before they advance towards the A-bomb site. They have no grenades whatsoever, but Bubsky gets a blind kill. It's a 5 versus 2.
Yeah, there's no hope left here for CPH Flames, and they'll get finished off, put out of their misery. And Mad Lions are indeed well on their way to a comeback in this half. There's still more work to be done. 5 rounds on the T side of Dust 2 is really, you know, you would say, I think, that it's not really good enough. So for their sake, they do need to try to get more rounds on the board. The CT side is, I think CPH Flames, if they don't get any more rounds, they're still going to be like pretty happy with what they've achieved in this half. But of course there is prospect for more after this save round.
Oh no!
It's 5 HP.
Oh, he's alive. That's a problem. Acor has been an issue in some of these rounds, so the grenades are good, but if he's alive, he's still got issues, man. Pistols for Copenhagen Flames. Bomb will be kept out of harm's way. Still waiting for that flashbang to come through. Now will it be a split of the B-bomb site? Tesses is creeping and he's been taken out. Roger was waiting for it, but the CTs trying to swarm in CT spawn, but they'll be dealt with for the most part. Switching for the AUG. So there's no reloads. Nodius, oh, he's going to ring that bell. But he won't do more than that. 6-8 Mad Lions on the comeback. They're starting to make the beginning of this look irrelevant now, as the score looks very close towards halftime.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And Dust 2 is a weird one too, you know, from the perspective that you can see very swingy. It can be very swingy, like, you know, it's not one of those maps that can be very simply, oh, this is just a super T-sided map. Typically it tends to be the case, but matchup dependent as well. Some construction going on Dust 2, James.
Yeah.
They're trying to destroy the double doors.
That was a very, very nice flashbang. Roger going for the 1v1. Hooksy got away with that pretty nicely. 70 HP, just took 1 hit. They had 4 auto snipers. They hit him once. That's a pretty bad job. Solo towards B with the AWP. Hooksy's comfortable for now. He averted the initial attempt. So Mad Lions have to play the long con. Bubsky again going through that smoke, trying to catch players off guard, and indeed he does. Nodius didn't know what hit him.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty aggressive maneuver to go for that really forward smoke. Added risk. And now there's a lot of problems, just 2 players left. This is the last round, of course. And Farley's going to have to do a lot more than that to save this one. Tessus is going to hear them all running and rotating, so that will be some info for Farley, but he's so far away. Tessus is alone against so many players here. I don't know what he can possibly do. He's going to try to get the line up. Oh, it could be huge, but it's just 1. James, is that enough? I don't think so.
I don't think it will be, no, because Acor's still in that mid position. I'm not sure if he got any sound cues. You saw Bubsky just run up long, took some risk to get the information, and there we go. Mad Lions with a great comeback in the first half. There's only 1 round between them. So that was pretty good so far. I mean, it was a great start for Copenhagen Flames. It looked like it was going to be a complete shutout, but Mad Lions have turned things around, and now I even more so don't know which way this one's going. We've got another half of Dust 2 to come. That's after the break. We'll see you back here shortly. Welcome back. CPH Flames now picking up the gauntlet on the T side. We'll see if they can have a run and try and put a stop to the push of Mad Lions late in that first half.
Yeah.
There's definitely some pros to be said for both sides, but it's Mad Lions with the momentum now as they move to the CT side. 4 sets of Kevlar, a Cillian with 2 flashes and a defuse kit. There's only 1 player towards the A bomb site for Mad Lions. They have put a lot of people in the B bomb site, but should get taken out by that P250. That range, baby.
But there's 2 players, Carl. Well, I expect it. Another one is here. Bubsky does a good job. Roger as well. And now it's looking rather difficult for CPH Flames. They started off well with the P250, but it's fallen to pieces. They lost the bomb. No bomb control. They could try to slow this down and reset the round. They've got lots of time to play with, and that would really seem to be the most wise choice here. See what Refresh can do. But there's so many eyes pointed at his direction. They've heard him. They know that he's here. But I don't know. I think he should probably try to wait until that smoke goes away so his teammate can capitalize upon his distraction. But instead, you know, that smoke was not really up, so Farley couldn't really attack at the same time.
He's doomed.
Yeah, doesn't look like there's much to do. So there's the pickup of the pistol. And importantly, there was no bomb plant. That's the problem here, is that there was no bomb plant, which means that CPH Flames, there's not a huge argument to force in this round. They could still go for it. You can make it work, but I think it is wiser to wait for the following round where you get the AKs.
Yeah, there wasn't much of anything in that round. No, it's worth noting, though, Copenhagen Flames picked up 2 P250s in that pistol round. Again, the P250s have longer range than the USPs for a one-shot in a pistol round. It's much better than the Glocks. The last 2 players, though, were left with the Glocks, which made things even worse. But there were too many man for position. Copenhagen Flames racing towards the site. Take a bullet for the president. Don't be shy. Don't the choke point. Go, go, go. The HE grenade's a little late, but the flashbang will be perfect. And it is a shooting gallery. Ooh, rich men hunting game.
Acorn. Just pulls out the USB. Pop, pop, pop. And his score is suddenly looking much more respectable. He had a tough first half, I would say. Hooksy quickly went 12. I think he was like 10-2 or something like that. And then he just, when obviously they started to lose rounds, partly it was because I think CPH Flames were falling off individually, and they were playing some risky spots. I wasn't always agreeing how they would play their aggression long for Nodius, but here comes the long take. Somewhat delayed. They're going to wait for those pre-nades. So that smoke's very deep actually, and Tessus will get the trade almost immediately. This could fall apart for Mad Lions actually.
Slowing things down towards A. Risks taken towards B. It's a 2-man push, though. Nodius is expecting it. See how the first player jumps to try and avoid getting fragged for free, and they'll do that. That forces Nodius away, but they know there's a 2-man push, so they are 3 versus 2 worst case scenario on this A bomb site. Acorn manages to get a kill stuck in the corner of a scout. He was so close to the headshot there. Doesn't quite get it, though. Second smoke goes up towards long. There's a Cillian gamble on the push. Both players here. Goes for the spray. Some harassment with grenades towards the site, but CPH Flames have the time to be careful. But that time buys time for Bubsky to rotate towards long. It's a big frag from Tessus, leaving a Cillian alone now in CT spawn. They know exactly where he is. He's walking into a crossfire. How on earth could he possibly do this?
Yeah, he already gave up his position, as you said, James, so he's made his own life very difficult here. And they're just waiting for the perfect moment. What a beautiful crossfire there. Farley would have gone down if there was a world where that would happen. That thing would have been shot in the back, and I'm not sure that he should have shot any bullets there. I think he could have just sat in the smoke. He knew he had his teammate rotating through towards long. If he sits in the smoke there, waits for his teammate to take contact, he gets a trade, and then maybe there's a chance to win the round, but he tried to spray for the smoke, James, and there was nothing he could have accomplished with that. And that's CPH Flames back already, and there was no time to build money for Mad Lions, so this could get dangerous.
Ooh. CZ taken out immediately. That was the only real threat here. The B bomb site is taken for free. Low tunnel is in their control. Copenhagen Flames. And all is good in the hood. Deathmatch for Tessus, looking for a anti-eco ace. Haven't spotted Shush just yet, although they may have heard him be tagged through the smoke. He'll be taken out. 10 rounds, CPH Flames. The first team's double figures. The score's still close, though. And now the buy comes out for Mad Lions. What will their defense look like here?
Well, they've got some... They can work... CPH Flames can work the 3 players they have towards long here. for a long take, and then just kind of go from there. And with those double orbs, life can get complicated. We'll see, though, how this long action goes. And Mad Lion should have the incendiary on the doors. Okay, they weren't able to get it off. There was a smoke there from the T side, and that's going to work out nicely. And you can see that dynamic. The CTs will time their flashbangs to allow their first player to get the incendiary on the doors. The way to counter that for the T side is to get a smoke on the doors, so your whole team can swing, and then you can overwhelm the CTs unless they fully commit, which in this case they did not. But they lost one player in the effort, so it's a pretty rough spot.
Mad Lions ran away from long all the way towards short because you've got to have one of them, otherwise you are effed. Asilian now by that smoke once again. There might be a boost by the wall actually to stop the plant from happening. Asilian's kind of lined up for that, but also people just advancing. He could get sprayed though through that smoke. TeSeS will take Bounty out and follow the traces to take out Asilian as well. This is really going in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. Picking up in the second half as they started the first. Acorn now in a 1 versus 3. He's fired a shot and he's walking into the hands of Refresh. He's got to be real careful. Now if he somehow gets this kill, never mind. Refresh will pop him. Another round in the bag for Copenhagen Flames, large and in charge.
So one of the things I was talking about before, James, is, and one of the reasons why I was saying that CPH Flames would have a good chance, even if this isn't typically in their map pool, is, and they did a great job on the CT side, but it's the T side fundamentals that are pretty easy. If you play the long spawns, you know the dynamic, which we just saw there. Like we saw that they knew to throw the smoke on the double doors if they're going to all swing out together to counter the molly that's always thrown, and just basics like this. And it's pretty easy, the decision making as a team. It just comes down to hitting your shots after that. So they're off to a good start, that's for sure. It's a nice find by Hooksy. Just USPs mostly though. There's the stack. And they're losing some players here, James. This might get a little bit worrisome.
But if they can control these choke points, they've got 3 smokes for that door and a molly again for the window. And if they're careful, maybe there's an argument. Oh. Oh no! Ooh. Oh my god, Farlig. Given life somehow. God knows how he survived that. That would have changed everything. Now, how much do you want to invest into this when you could hold on to this AK? There's another smoke to come after that. TeSeS doesn't need to move. So once that third and final smoke comes in, maybe that'll be a wrap. Shush has found the AK-47, but he'll be hunted now. They know exactly where he is. He's not going to make it. 12 rounds to Copenhagen Flames.
I think, James, in the last 3 rounds, TeSeS has got something like at least 8 or 9 kills in the last 3 rounds. He's just been entry fragging, cleaning up ecos, just aggressively just pushing everyone down with his AK. He's really come alive in this second half. And that's great because they need somebody to come alive. And he's been doing a good job with that. And I'm just looking at the spawns here. Right now, and CPH Flames do not have a long spawn in this round.
They have a B spawn.
They have a B spawn. They could decide to just go default, or they could do like a delayed long take. I think long's been working out so well for them that there is an argument for them to give that a go. But maybe they'll just go into a cat default and then figure it out from there. So we'll see how that plays out.
1 AWP for A-Court for Mad Lions. No second AWP on this round for the CT side. TeSeS going through suicide with the flashes through the middle doors and the molly towards short as well. Plenty of fragment, and indeed they do take that B spawn. Refresh is here to trade. Acorn makes his way towards the window, but it's high risk, and that will slow him down somewhat. He's got no one to flash for him either. His teammates are isolated from him and having to gamble through that smoke in CT spawn. TeSeS looking for something. Oh, he's going for the spray, and that is shut down as well. 1 versus 3 for Mad Lions.
TeSeS, man, he's so hungry for these kills. So yeah, they played the B spawn. I didn't actually expect them to have the balls to go for the B spawn, James, and actually just run into the site with full buy. But they did it, and Dust 2. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes like Dust 2 helps you by saying, giving you an argument. The rush timings on the spawns are really strong on the T side. If you just play the spawns, you can get quite a lot out of that, and it really takes out a lot of the guesswork if you don't know how to call things. And this is brutal. This is so brutal. This was a round where Mad Lions, they had just saved a round prior to this. They got their full buyout, the AWPs and everything. Didn't even get a chance to use them.
Copenhagen Flames just running a train right now.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bollocks. Speed. Remember that film? That film was awesome. 3 rounds away from the first map are Copenhagen Flames. A master stroke, it seems, picking Dust 2, unless Mad Lions can turn it around. And there's still time. Maybe not this particular round, but Acor has an AWP, and a hero AWP can always be very powerful. Okay. Ooh, going for that crouch peek, but Tessus is ready for it. And the AWP is long gone. That's not going to be recovered anytime soon. That's got Mad Lions on a pilgrimage through those middle doors, and they found something. Molotov weapon can be protected for the time being. Tessus will deny access to that AWP. In the meantime, Copenhagen Flames also got control of long. They know where the last player is now from the trajectory of that HE grenade, so they're in a comfortable position, and it feels like they've always been in a comfortable position in this game here, Copenhagen Flames.
Just some good Dusty fundamentals. And the cool thing about Tessus there in that fight with the AWP, he saw Acor get the info of where he was standing, so what he did was he took an off angle that's kind of going a bit wide, and so when Acor swings, kind of pre-firing a deeper position, before Acor's ready to shoot, Tessus is already going to be able to react to him swinging, and he gets the advantage there. So Tessus playing some good CS right now, that's for sure. And they're playing the spawns, James. They are just playing their spawns. That's the caller. The caller is Dust 2 right now. And they're going to trade out, it seems. Bubsky misses the flick, and that's probably the round. They've got no control. Hooksie's hunting them down already before the bombs even had a chance to be planted.
Yeah, at this point, I think Mad Lions need to consider this a warm-up, because they need to come into the next one hot. And maybe they're a bit cold here. Some shots being missed. Must be a frustrating game of Dust 2, just being victimized constantly.
Yeah.
Roger and Sicilian desperately trying to hold on to what they can, but it's a rough one.
Yeah, again, this map is there's a few different things. I might make a video about it actually, but like in terms of what you need to know to play it well, and then what it comes down to in terms of like where the individual ability has to be. And I think it is also quite fair to say Mad Lions had a cold start on their first half on their T side, and CPH Flames were hitting their shots like really hard in the first half at the first like 10 rounds or so, and that really has set Mad Lions back so much. They just don't have any room to work with on this second half to kind of recover and right the ship. So they're definitely not having fun at the moment. Yeah.
They're not out of it just yet, but they may soon be. And if you look at all those rounds in a row for Copenhagen Flames, it doesn't feel likely that Mad Lions are going to make a comeback here, but let's make no assumptions. Incendiary and long once again. Roger will play close to the NT9 as he pretty much has to. The Mad Lions smokes on long will be more reasonable than the ones we saw in the first half from Copenhagen Flames.
The CT's just burned all their smokes, and they're all gone now, pretty much. They're all participating, so they're gonna have to fight it out now. And here comes the pop flash to take long. Roger close to the doors. Ouch.
Yeah, that's a painful one. Playing anti-flash with the MP9, but he can't play anti-frag, it seems. They're just getting taken out for fun now by Copenhagen Flames. Bubsky and Shush remain. No opening frag yet for Mad Lions. There's no. Oh, there is a kit, sorry, on the last 2 players on Bubsky. The bomb will fly over. Style point perhaps. Not on the bomb pad itself just yet, but there is a player on Goose. That was Tessus. And now Bubsky's alone. 1 versus 4. Bomb being planted. There are only flashbangs left for Copenhagen Flames, but there's plenty of personnel. Refresh with the instant trade. 16-9. It feels very dominant. It feels more dominant than the score suggests.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, obviously the T side was really good for CPH Flames, and this is kind of what I was afraid of for Mad Lions, because CPH Flames didn't really need to default, and it's not that they chose this gambly style of CS. They just know how to play Dust 2 quite well, because Dust 2 does give you really strong timings from spawns. Obviously, you don't know what spawns you're going to So you always get this decision, okay, what can we do with these spawns given the context of our opponent's economy and the rest of it? And also, CPH Flames, I don't know, what it is, but it seems like they've definitely been warming up effectively because a lot of their players in this game looked way warmer than the Mad Lions individuals.
Yeah, Mad Lions kind of got hammer-fisted by Copenhagen Flames there. Thoughts of the deaths coming up after the break.